Yo, what is going on, growmies? Hope y'all are doing well, growing well. Now, growmies, welcome to the second episode of the Flower Tent Send-Off. As you growmies know, I have been doing a lot of experimentation grows lately, and for this flower cycle, I wanted to test varying plant sizes in 1 gallon fabric pots using Roots Organic Lush soil. In the last episode, episode 1, every strain was shown that we're growing, as well as the transplanting process. So, if you guys want to see the beginning, check it out. Now, after transplanting and giving the plant some time to develop new root zones, around 7 days later, we already began to see traits regarding gender. Around 2 weeks under a 12-12 light schedule, these plants have wasted no time at all getting into flower production. As we can see, the plants are developing many bud sites rapidly, with the pistils growing crazy in all directions. Getting into week 3 of flower. Now, growmies, a lot of people may ask, why are you growing small ass plants? Well, there are 3 main points to this grow, and a lot of little experiments going on as well. The first main point was to flower a whole bunch of random Frankenstein girls just to observe how the varying strains would grow in Roots Organic Lush. The second main point was to try a grow style similar to a Sea of Green grow, which I wanted to get a little bit of hands-on experience before applying it to my other grow operations. The third and last major point was also to teach the beginner growers of what they can expect as the flower cycle progresses. Looking back to my previous grow, it was pretty good, but I did have an issue of getting the plants enough water every day. So my goal for this grow was to improve on where I was lacking previously. So far, for this flower run, I have been adamant daily about checking the soil moisture levels so that none of the pots get close to bone dry like before. So far, to take care of these plants the past 3 weeks of flower since transplant, I have just been watering around 6.0 to 6.5 pH. Week 4 of flower. Up to this point, 4 weeks into flower, all I have done is water. As the flower cycle continues to progress, we are able to see how the different varieties of plants grow and respond to their environment. And speaking of progression, this summer is definitely ramping up with the heat, as I'm already experiencing near 110 degree Fahrenheit days outside. I knew that this summer flower run would be more of a challenge, but I wanted to test my skills to see how well I can grow in these more extreme conditions. Ultimately, this flower cycle has been an excellent experimental run to test Roots Organic Lush soil and to test the most heat tolerant strains, which is very important for my grow conditions. In this tent, we have plants ranging from wild, hungry, rapid growing sativas to squat heirloom, just existing indica plants. But, as we all know, week 4 is the infamous week where many growers start to have problems during flower. Looking at the plants, they are mainly in 1 gallon pots, with the biggest plant macaroon in a 3 gallon. As the plants get into full-on flower production, the nutrient acquisition rates skyrocket, meaning we'll have to keep a close eye and see if/when certain plants start to get hungry. Pot size experimentation. As some of you growmies know, I've been talking about 1 gallon Sea of Green grows recently, but before starting those flower runs officially, I wanted to see what I can expect in the future with this grow. So far in this flower tent send-off, the 1 gallon pots seem to be feeding these smaller plants pretty well, especially the indica broadleaf leaning plants. Taking some notes about the plants inside the tent, Purest Indica is growing absolutely beautiful with dense ultra sticky gluey flowers. Not only has this plant been the most drought resistant, but it also seems to not even be bothered by the high temperatures. Looking at another plant that's doing particularly well is actually a true Frankenstein, Guayula papaya crossed with mixed nuts ballsack hermy. Although an extra small plant, the scent profile on this hermy cross is actually impeccable, with a chemical green dew melon peanut butter scent. I didn't want to risk growing any big herm plants and dedicating months of veg, so this quick transplant to flower experiment is perfect for this scenario as well. So far there are no pollen sacs, so I believe as long as I keep the root zone stable below the intense heat, the plant should do well enough. Some of the plants that seem to be doing not the greatest are more of the narrow leaf tropical leaf styles like this mountaintop mint. During the winter and at the end of winter, this clone of mountaintop mint displays dark red and black hues, so I wanted to see how the flower would end up during the summer. I will say though, out of all the plants, this mountaintop mint has the least strongest scent and doesn't like the high temperatures at all, so this will be the last time I run the clone myself. The biggest plant in the tent is macaroon, which is closest to the light and experiencing the most heat. In the past, when I've grown autoflowers in really high temperatures, the flower tended to grow more on the airy side, but all of these photos have ultra dense nugs in conditions literally up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. First signs of hunger. Originally, macaroon was planted in 1 gallon of HP Pro Mix and then transplanted to 3 gallons of Roots Organic Lush. At week 4, the plant started to show some signs of needing more food, so I've given it a 1/4 cup of Gaia Green Flower Bloom. Speaking of watering again, this plant has also been drinking 3 liters of water every single day. If I skip one day, the entire medium is bone dry with a droopy, sad plant, which is why I have to water daily. The 1 gallon pots have also been drying out pretty quick and have been getting daily water as well. Looking at the 1 gallons, not every single plant is completely fed with just Roots Organic soil. The 2 hungriest 1 gallon plants are Mountaintop Mint and Ice Cream Cake crossed with caramel cream, so I decided to give them 2 tablespoons of Gaia Green Flower Bloom top dressed. Attempting to reverse Blueberry Muffin. Now growmies, I did say that this whole tent was many experiments. Going all the way back to week 2, I decided that I wanted to reverse this Blueberry Muffin clone to pollinate everything else in the tent and ended up spraying colloidal silver. After spraying the plant for a few weeks, nothing happened or formed, so I decided to order some sodium thiosulfate as a last ditch effort. As we were coming up to week 6 in flower, after spraying a fuck ton of sodium thiosulfate every day, finally I think I see bananas. I know most of the plants are starting to get close to the optimal finishing line, but depending on the situation, I might just let them run extra long as I really wanted to pollinate at least a decent portion of this tent. And Blueberry Muffin is going all the way to the end just because I need the seeds. Within the next month or so, every single plant should be done and harvestable, which just feels crazy fast this time around. The next episode of this series should be out in less than a week, so look out for that. Growmies, leave a comment on which strain you are most interested in seeing flower. Anyways, growmies, as always, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and comment. If you haven't seen my other grow/smoke reports, check them out. Keep it up out there, growmies, and stay motivated in this beautiful medicinal hobby. #GrowmieGang.